You keep telling yourself that you'll start when you're ready. Next Monday. After things calm down, when you have more confidence, when you're less tired, when life makes a little more sense. But life has been waiting for you far less than you've been waiting for life. And that's costing you more than you realize. Not money, something far more difficult to earn back. Time. You don't notice it immediately. The cost isn't charged all at once. It arrives in tiny, forgettable moments. You wake up 5 minutes later than planned. You stare at the ceiling for a while, convincing yourself you deserve one more scroll through your phone before facing the day. One video becomes 3. 3 become 20 minutes. Nothing dramatic happened, no disaster, no catastrophe. Yet somehow the version of you that wanted to change already lost the first negotiation of the day. And the strange part is, you barely remember making the decision. Comfort doesn't announce itself. It disguises itself as logic. I'm exhausted. I've had a long week. I'll think better tomorrow. Sometimes those things are true, but sometimes they're stories your brain tells because comfort has become your safest place. Not your happiest place, your safest. There's a difference. Safety feels good in the moment. Growth rarely does. Think about the last time you almost changed your life. Maybe you were about to apply for a better job, launch a business, walk into the gym, ask someone out, start creating instead of consuming. You felt it, that quiet excitement. For a moment, your future seemed bigger than your fear. Then something happened. Your brain began negotiating. What if it doesn't work? What if people judge me? What if I'm not ready? You weren't searching for answers. You were searching for permission to stay exactly where you were. That's when the real problem begins. Most people think comfort feels like peace. It doesn't. Peace feels light. Comfort often feels heavy. Peace gives you energy. Comfort quietly drains it. You know that feeling. It's Saturday afternoon. You plan to clean your apartment, finish that project, maybe even go for a run. Instead, you're lying on the couch. Phone inches from your face. You've opened Instagram 4 times. You closed it. Opened YouTube. Watched a video you barely remember. Checked your messages. Looked at the weather. Opened Instagram again. Hours disappear. Not because you enjoyed them, because they asked nothing from you. At first, this feels harmless. Everyone needs a break. Everyone needs downtime. That's true. But ask yourself something uncomfortable. Did you choose to rest, or did you escape? Those are completely different experiences. Real rest leaves you feeling restored. Escape leaves you wondering where the day went. The uncomfortable truth is, your comfort zone isn't a place. It's a pattern. A pattern of choosing immediate emotional relief over long-term self-respect. Nobody talks about that part, because it sounds harsh. But you've already felt it. Late at night, the lights are off. The room is quiet. Your phone finally dies, or you put it face down. And for a few seconds, there's nothing left to distract you. That's when the question appears. What am I doing with my life? It doesn't scream. It whispers. You try not to think about it. Tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow you'll wake up earlier. Tomorrow you'll finally commit. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And without realizing it, comfort starts collecting interest. This is the tax nobody warns you about. Every comfortable decision feels free. Until years later, you see an old friend. They've changed. Not because they're smarter. Not because they got lucky. They kept paying small amounts of discomfort that you kept avoiding. Little conversations, small risks, embarrassing first attempts, difficult mornings, uncertain decisions, while you were protecting your comfort. They were expanding their life, and this changes everything, because the price of comfort isn't what you feel today. It's what you never become tomorrow. That's why the tax is invisible. Nobody sends you a bill. Life moves on without waiting. None of these moments seem life-changing. Until one day, you realize your life was built for moments exactly like these. Not the dramatic decisions, the tiny ones. The ones nobody applauded. The ones nobody even noticed. Including you. For a long time, you probably believed confidence came first. That one morning, you'd wake up feeling certain. Certain enough to apply. Certain enough to start. Certain enough to stop caring what people think. But certainty isn't the beginning, it's the receipt. The purchase happens long before that. Confidence is what arrives after you've survived enough uncomfortable moments to prove you won't fall apart. And this is where everything starts to shift. Not because life becomes easier, because you stop asking it to. Think about a child learning to ride a bike. They don't expect balance on the first attempt. Falling is part of the lesson. Somehow, as adults, we forget that. We expect our first business to work, our first speech to sound polished, our first investment to be perfect, our first difficult conversation to unfold flawlessly. When it doesn't, we call it failure instead of evidence that we're finally moving. The comfort zone sells a dangerous fantasy. If you wait long enough, you'll feel ready. You won't. Readiness is rarely an emotion. It's a decision made while uncertainty is still in the room. That's what separates people who slowly transform from people who spend years preparing. One group waits for confidence. The other builds it. And here's the strange part. From the outside, they often look equally afraid. The difference isn't fear. It's their relationship with it. One treats fear like a stop sign. The other treats it like a doorway. You can feel the difference. Imagine getting an email offering an opportunity you've wanted for years. Your heart races. Your stomach tightens. Immediately, two voices begin speaking. The first says this could change your life. The second says don't embarrass yourself. Most people assume whichever voice is louder must be wiser. It isn't. Volume has never been proof of truth. Fear shouts because urgency keeps it alive. Wisdom usually speaks quietly. It doesn't beg. It waits to see whether you'll listen. This changes everything. Because your future isn't being decided by giant moments. It's being negotiated inside conversations no one else can hear. Every day, your identity casts votes. Not speeches. Votes. One difficult workout. One honest conversation. One application sent before you felt prepared. 1 hour spent creating instead of consuming. Each vote says, this is who I am becoming. And eventually, the votes outweigh the old story. People will call it discipline. You'll know it was repetition. Not perfect repetition. Human repetition. Some days you'll slip. Some days comfort will win. You'll stay in bed longer than you planned. You'll avoid the difficult task. You'll tell yourself you'll restart on Monday. That's not the danger. The danger is believing one imperfect day makes the old identity true again. It doesn't. One chapter has never determined an entire book. The comfort zone loves that lie. It whispers you already messed up. You might as well stop. But growth doesn't disappear because you stumbled. It disappears when you decide the stumble defines you. There's another tax nobody talks about. Regret. Not loud regret. Quiet regret. The kind that arrives in ordinary moments. Watching someone your age live the life you once imagined. Driving past the neighborhood you hope to move into. Finding an old notebook filled with goals that still haven't changed. Realizing you've spent years becoming incredibly busy, without becoming meaningfully different. That realization hurts, but it also offers something rare. Proof that you're awake, because people who never question their patterns almost never change them. Awareness is uncomfortable. It's also expensive. It asks you to let go of excuses that have protected your ego for years. It asks you to stop blaming timing, luck, other people, your past. Not because those things never mattered. They did. but they no longer get to decide your next move. There's something strangely freeing about accepting that. You stop trying to rewrite yesterday. You start writing tomorrow. One decision at a time, one uncomfortable conversation, one promise kept when nobody is watching, one small act that costs comfort and earns self-respect. That's the exchange you've been looking for, not happiness for discomfort, meaning for comfort. A bigger life always asks for a smaller attachment to safety, not reckless decisions, intentional ones, not constant struggle, purposeful discomfort. Because the goal was never to become fearless. The goal was to become someone whose values speak louder than fear. And maybe that's what this invisible tax has been trying to teach you all along. Every comfortable decision has a hidden price. Every courageous one has a hidden reward. Neither appears immediately. Both compound quietly. Years from now, your life will reflect which payments you chose to make. So tonight, when you reach for your phone instead of your purpose, when your mind offers another convincing reason to wait, pause, ask one question. Is this protecting my peace or protecting my comfort? The answer may be quieter than you expect, but once you hear it, you'll never mistake the two again. If this felt a little too real, maybe that's the part you shouldn't ignore.